Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Casper Network, aka Casper the Friendly Ghost. So let's just dive in and let's start off with the overall price chart. So I do have TradingView open over here. We are going to address a few things around Casper. Now, first and foremost, price action in the last couple months, going all the way back to around October, where we did hit about 5 cents. It has been a downtrend, and we're coming down to test some nice lows. We will address that. We will talk about it more on the chart. But what I do want to bring you guys back to is those ICO pricing. So initially when we were dropping back in the summertime, I was like, okay, my target points for Casper are the ICO pricing. 3 cents. Next was about 2 cents, and then the last one is 1.5 cents. I think that these three targets here were perfect DCA options. 3 cents, 2 cents, 1.5 cents. And when we really kind of look at where we are at now, we've seen all of those price targets being hit in terms of the ICO pricing. And I did buy, I was telling you guys where I was buying. I have been averaging in on Casper for a while, and going all the way back to the initial drop in the summertime. Now, one target to me that always stands out whenever we do look at the overall Casper chart is 2.5 cents. So let me throw on a horizontal line, and let me go to the target point, and let me put 2.5 cents there, just so that you guys have a reference point. So here you guys have 2.5 cents. It's slightly like this candlestick here is slightly lower. Same with this one back here, but nonetheless, this is where I am looking at to see if we are going to have a significant bounce down here or not. Now, when we look at candle bodies versus candlesticks, I've always said that candle bodies are more important than candlesticks. So when we look on the 3-day span, like 2.5, it's like 253, right? That's the area that is a support zone back here. Yes, wicks below it are more than they're more than possible. We've seen wicks all the way down to about like almost 2 cents. But what I am looking at, and one thing that I have been addressing on this channel, is if we could go back down to that 1.5 cent zone, which would be a significant drop. It would also be a huge opportunity, but is it an actual possibility? Because if we're looking at the overall price where we are at now, going all the way down to like 1.5 cents, this would be about a 42% drop. Now, I'm not saying that that's not possible. I'm just saying that we're already down astronomically. We'll just go back to like the November high, right? The November 2021 high, which was like about 24 cents. We're already down to our current level 90% almost. It's 89.14%. We already seen a pullback at about 90.7%, which is usually right around the average of altcoins dropping during a bear market. I will say this, did we already see the Casper bottom back here in the summer? It's questionable, right? What I would personally love to see on Casper, and this is one thing that I see a lot, even with many of the other assets that we are talking about, like even QNT, XRP, etc., it's just a lot more volume in. The problem is that like on-balance volume has been diminishing since we've seen those topping points. Like right around this time, I think I want to say QNT had a little bit of a topping point back in September. It might have not have been October, but you could see where the on-balance volume spiked up quite a bit, and it was riding the waves all the way back to like the bottoms back here in June. So when we really kind of look at the on-balance volume, it's been diminished greatly. It's almost like there's no volume here at all. It's pretty much sideways. So what I would love to see is us come back down, test this 2.5 cent zone, and then get some strength to continue a little bit higher to break out back into like a nice demand channel, which would be like above 3 cents. I would love to be back up above 3 cents, but there's a lot of resistance here, so I would expect us to trade within a sideways pattern here. Are we going to break down a lot more down to like 1.5 cents? Because again, I do also have the altcoin market over here. This is excluding Bitcoin, and look at where we are at right now. So we are on significant, we're on like a major edge here of just like the support zone going back to June. Like this is where we wick down to. Let me go back to this chart and let's go back to the 3-day span just to kind of give you guys a quick insight on what I'm looking at here. So, this line that we came down to, there's not a lot of like demand at all back here. Like there's not a lot of support. This is basically retesting the highs of the 2017, 2018 all-time highs back here. When we really kind of look at the next area on the altcoin market cap chart, I've been addressing and looking at a few things around January. So this is the January lows. This would be, I would say that this is a little bit more of a higher probability of getting a retest, which would be $200 billion for the altcoin market. Now, is that going to happen? It could, but when we look at the overall market that we're in right now, when we look at, okay, what's going to be the next major thing to push us this low, it's questionable on what could happen, but anything is possible. If we do come down to this level, though, like even $277 billion, which there is quite a bit of demand here. I'll show you guys that real quick. So it's mainly looking at this level back here. This is where a lot of the trading was happening during 2021 in January. This is where a lot of the demand actually lies. And this would be about $278 billion. From our current level going down to that area, so we'll say from our current price, this would be about a 37.91% drop. From our bottom here, it would be about another 35%. Again, are we expecting it? Not necessarily, but I am prepared for anything that could happen. Now, if we do see that altcoins could drop drastically, we could see like a 40+% drop on assets like Casper. One asset that we've been watching for is QNT. I am expecting QNT to come down and test some nice lows. What are those lows? Well, if we're looking at the current price action, I'm expecting like 60 some dollars, $60 to $80, which this would be about a 43% drop from our current prices. $80 would be about a 25.66% drop. Just to give you guys a quick reference, 25.66% would bring us to about 2 cents on Casper. Now again, anything is possible, but the issue here that I see with Casper versus QNT is that Casper did not get a massive push. I mean, it did do about 150% jump. QNT is a little bit different. This was a little bit more overstretched and overbought. This was up about almost 500% from those lows. So when we look at the drop on QNT compared to Casper, I'm not expecting the same exact dropping point or the same exact pullback. Again, going back down to those lows, retesting those lows from the summertime, which would be about a 14% drop from here, would be more than welcome. And I think that that is, something that is a higher probability of happening. I have been looking at a few things around Casper. I've been looking at the stats around Casper, how many individuals are holding it. Are we seeing a lot more buying for Casper? Because again, when we go over to the Casper stats, we are seeing the holders up about 1.84%. We're sitting at about 98,257 holders, which is very good to see. Transactions are up quite a bit. We are actually seeing 24-hour transactions only sitting under 2,000. You got to remember, Casper's still very early on. There's not a ton of dApps. There's not a ton of like network projects that are actually transacting on a day-to-day basis, but we are seeing transactions going up. We're seeing the holders going up, and we're seeing a lot more innovation from Casper side. We're seeing a lot more building happening from Casper side, which I will talk about in a video that I am going to be doing for tomorrow, just to give you guys a quick reference on that. But I have been looking at a lot of these altcoins, and even like Casper's still my number one holding, as you guys are probably all aware of. Is it a significant, like when I look at Casper being my number one holding, is it because I think Casper's going to explode and do massive moves? You could, argue, sure it is, but it's also because Casper didn't get a proper bull run. And also Casper itself is extremely overlooked. It doesn't have a massive market cap. I mean, you could see the market cap over here, right? We're sitting at $278 million in market cap. I do think that this is going to be one of those early gems that a lot of people are accumulating at a perfect time in the market. And I think that when we really kind of look at the long-term longevity of Casper as an investment vehicle, I think that's going to be a great opportunity, especially going forward. But we do have to endure max pain. And the max pain is, this market. This market is rough. It's volatile. It will will, shake everyone out. That is, weak hands. So when we really kind of look at Casper, when we look at what could happen next, I did have a demand channel on the Bitcoin price chart, as you guys probably seen before I kind of push this down a little bit just to get to those candle bodies. But when we look at this, I was expecting, even when we topped back here, a nice drop back down to the demand range. One thing that I have been looking at, very similar to Q&T, is coming back down to the demand range. I mean, this is a huge area of opportunity when we look at the Bitcoin price charts for a lot of these altcoins, and I do expect this to come back down to this area, probably test the bottom range on this to test how strong that support actually is. This would be about a 54.53% correction from the topping point. From our current level that we are at now, this would be about a 17.23% drop. Like I said, we could easily come down to test like 2 cents. 2 cents is a perfect area that I'm very, very interested in Casper, because again, it is lower than all of my bids that I have recently bought Casper at. No, I'm not selling Casper anytime soon. I don't plan on selling Casper anytime soon. Remember that all of these investment vehicles are extremely risky. Anything could go to zero. Anything can go to, it could do 100x. But one thing that I will say right now is that the lower that we go here and the lower that we range, the better ROI that we have. A lot of people confuse the idea that like, okay, well, we're going, absolutely massively low. So this is bad. This is not good. This is, terrible. We might as well just go to zero at this point. I share with you guys a lot, other charts within this area, because I think a lot of people confuse the idea of like how low some of these altcoins go, but why it is such a big area of opportunity when you actually look at the long-term viewpoint of some of these investments. A good one and a good example is always ADA. I always bring up ADA because ADA is the one where we have a lot of price data on, one, but also two, we know that when this thing came out, it did a huge move. It topped out at about $1.41. So here you guys have the topping point for ADA at $1.41. Let me move this up slightly. It's not on the candlestick. So $1.41, almost $1.42. And it did a massive crash during the bear market. So this thing came down about 98.77%. And again, we have a topping point back there for Casper. It's questionable, right, on where we actually topped out on, but if we're going off of those levels down back here where we have a lot of price data on Casper, like even on the daily span, just to give you guys a quick insight, this is not me being biased on Casper or anything like that. This is where a lot of the price data actually lies. This would be about a 98.33% drop that we are already at technically. Now going down to about 2 cents. Let me make sure that we're on 2 cents exact. So it's like almost 2 cents there. This would be about the same exact range that ADA would have crashed. So this could be a high probability of us getting to 2 cents. Now at 2 cents, very similar to what we've seen over here on the ICO pricing, 2 cents would be an incredible opportunity, because this is going all the way back 2 years ago to March of 2021 when this ICO was raised. So I'm very interested, at this level as well. And I will be buying heavy if we do see 2 cents, because again, I've been accumulating Casper for a very long time, because very similar to ADA, I think that this is extremely overlooked at these price ranges, very similar to what we've seen over here on ADA. And by the way, just so that you guys know, this March of 2020 crash was not a bear market crash. This was a black swan event crash where nobody expected, we'll just say it was an unexpected event around this market. Most of these altcoins, they usually come down to like 98%, 90, 98, somewhere within that range. But what we seen after that was ADA going massively bullish, going crazy, doing an 18,000% run. And if we do an 18,000% run, I'm not saying that every altcoin behaves the same. I'm just saying if we seen something like that on Casper, we would be trading at about $3.62. And ADA was trading at about $3.25. again, just to give you guys a quick insight, going over here to ADA. So let's go back to ADA. Check out the circulating supply. Check out the market cap of this thing at that price of $3 and what, 20 some cents. Compare it to Casper. Casper has 11.3 million total supply. Yes, 8% year over year, but I would even say within the next 4 years, the supply will be a lot lower than ADA when it did hit those all-time highs over here. So when we look at this and we talk about, okay, well, this would be slightly above the 2618 on the macro fib base. And even if I change this fib scale, so let's go back over here to the style and go to log scale, this would be nearly the 1272 at about $4.06. This is not too crazy in my opinion. And yes, this is actually, you know, if we go back down to like 2 cents, if this is what we are looking at, you know, this would not be too crazy of a move at all, especially even if we're going off of the fib levels that we see over here, because this would be almost a perfect test of the 2618, going off of the 2 cent bottom down here and going off of the $1.33 cent zone, which, by the way, for anybody that is questioning why I'm going off of $1.33 and why I'm actually utilizing that as an example, I am very transparent. When we go over here to the show more tab, I'm utilizing what we see over here on the all-time high. And technically, we could go even a little bit higher because this is saying $1.36 on Casper. If we go off of $1.36, just to give you guys a quick insight, so let's go over here to $1.36. Make sure that this is 2 cents. These are what we are looking at for the fib base levels, which $3.50, almost 3 cents would be the 2618, which again, when we question the moves that we could be making, these are not too crazy at all when you compare it to what we see on the fib scale, which, you know, this is comparing what we've seen in the past on some assets that have a lot more supply. Casper's very early on. We still have a ton of listing opportunity. There's still a ton of building, happening on Casper. So we are definitely watching this one closely, and I do think that's an incredible opportunity. And with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys want more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, up to you all. Have a beautiful day, beautiful night, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.